So the latest update is that Taliban officially announced that they, right now at the moment, they ban the universities for girls, but they say actually they want to review the decision, not the leadership, the higher Ministry of Education in Kabul, the so-called Taliban higher education minister. We know that they decided finally that they don't want girls going to universities. Last year, when the Taliban came and took the power, they announced that girls from grade 6 above cannot go to school. And on that time, you heard that this decision, and they said that this decision is temporary, and this is not, we will not impose this decision permanently. But we know that so far it has been 1.5 years where we don't see any updates from that decision as well. From that, we know that this decision is also permanently, and we never see that Taliban reverse its decision from and say that girls can go to school and university. As far as we know, that this decision came from Kandahar, from the leadership, from Mullah Haibatullah Akhundzada, and he's a very hardline mullah cleric, and he announced this decision, and I think that is the final decision, and no one can challenge the decision of the leader of the Taliban. So first of all, say that Taliban is not whole Afghanistan. You know, this it's a very little minority of Afghanistan that has taken this decision, which is the Taliban. Like myself, like others, Afghanistan has around 40 million population, and this 40 million population overall, I can say that 99% of this population is against this decision of Taliban, and they don't want the ban imposed by the Taliban to be implemented in Afghanistan. Yes, today a number of journalists and a number of male students across the country protested against the Taliban, and you heard from Nangarhar University, a very Pashtun populated area in Afghanistan. Men went out of the university and protested and said until the women didn't allow to come to university, we will not come back to our classes. And you see the protest was there, and Kabul female protesters chanting against the Taliban in the street of Kabul and different parts of the country. And also you see women and girls in Afghanistan and Takhar province, in northern province of Takhar, protested against the Taliban. But the very upset situation is that the Taliban backlashed and responded with the clash, and they responded with the cold water against the girls who went to the street to want their basic right, which is education. But this is the situation of Afghanistan. Unfortunately, during the past 1.5 years, all rights of women and girls have been eliminated, and no one gives this right to the women of Afghanistan. The condemnation was widespread, and you see, just a few minutes ago, I saw around 15 foreign ministers of Western countries in a statement condemned the banning of universities for girls. In terms of how it affects, I think it affects a lot if the Western countries and the world decide to stand against the Taliban, to stand beside the Afghan women and other ethnic groups of Afghanistan. It definitely affects because the country right now doesn't have that capacity to run by itself, by the Taliban. Right now, you see that the government of Taliban, the so-called government of Taliban, receiving 40 million USD dollar weekly aid from the United States and the international community. And by this money, they are running their government, and they are paying the salaries of the employees of the government. So there's question if this money was cut by the Western countries, what will happen? We see the possibility is that the government of the Taliban will collapse. There are also lots of other areas that can praise the Taliban from other point of view. So right now you see the Taliban is isolated, and they are around all of their leaders are on a sanction list. Their regime is not recognized by any country so far. The Pakistan, as you mentioned, Pakistan as a neighbor of Afghanistan can play a key role in Afghanistan. Pakistan has its influence among the Taliban, and they can persuade the Taliban to reverse its decision. As far as I see the statement made by the Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Bilal Bhutto, it was very, I think I cannot say naive, it was a misguided statement. From one side, they are saying we are condemning this decision, but from other side, he is saying that the world doesn't have any other choice rather to get engaged with the Taliban. What does it mean? It is very, annoying. You cannot say that the people of Afghanistan doesn't have any choice with the Taliban. Afghanistan has a choice. Afghanistan has a replacement of the Taliban. The people of Afghanistan, everyone who are living inside Afghanistan can be replaced by the Taliban. I think that the country and the region should deal with the situation of Afghanistan very responsibly because the Taliban is. If you see the Taliban in the past 1.5 years, they cannot even, according to the UN reports, they cannot even to challenge the other terrorist groups like TTP, like Al-Qaeda and others. They are all there and living together. And this is a challenge for the neighboring countries, for the region. Actually, the media can play a key role because the media can inform people and educate people and tell the people the right things, the right way, and the media can praise the Taliban, and the media can, engage the people to stand against this brutal decision of the Taliban. In terms of international community, the international community also can be more active in Afghanistan and to open different ways girls inside Afghanistan can study, can learn, and to open corridors for the girls to maybe go out of Afghanistan to study abroad. And also there are also lots of many other ways to do this, but this is not a permanent solution. The permanent solution is Afghanistan. You have to solve the problem permanently inside Afghanistan. You cannot take 20 millions of women of Afghanistan out of Afghanistan, and it's impossible. You have to find a solution inside Afghanistan. That is, I think, I cannot have any solution right now. The solution is, the way how to deal with this big challenge is very difficult. And it needs lots of discussion and thinking inside and outside Afghanistan.